What's up, everybody? In today's video, I'm giving a total transformation to this thrift store find. This small trunk has been hanging around since the fall of 2020 when I braved the thrift store for holiday decorations. I saw this and knew I wanted to give it a good refresh, and a bunch of you said a few videos back that you'd be into seeing a thrift makeover in a future vid. Well, today is that day. If you're new, welcome, and if you like DIY projects, then you can subscribe below, and turn on notifications if you'd like to see all my videos. I'm Jen, and this is what I do on Valley Buzzsaw, so let's get started. So I realize this isn't a traditional thrift flip because I'm not turning this trunk into something different, which technically means this is a thrift transformation, but either way, the first step to any good paint job is good prep. After removing the sticker and giving it a quick degreasing wipe down, I came in with 220 grit sandpaper. I use these small sheets from 3M because they fit perfectly around a sanding block, but they don't have a slip when I use them like this. I'll leave Amazon links in the description to everything I'm using if you want to check it out. I make a little if you shop my links, but you don't pay any extra. The support is very much appreciated and helps me to keep making videos, so thanks! The acrylic and glaze should adhere nicely once the piece has some tooth. Once I got everything sanded, I wiped it down again and left it to dry while I picked out my paint colors. I went with golden brown for the base color. This color can lean red depending on the glaze color because of the undertones of the acrylic. I knew I'd have to get creative with mixing glaze, and I would have chosen a different base color, but every other color I had on hand was just too taupe. And frankly, I was just too lazy to go out and shop, so I went with what I got. The whole piece got 2 decent coats for about 95% coverage. Oh, I was so careful at first because I didn't plan to paint the inside. But I ended up getting some paint dripping over the edge despite trying to be careful, so I ended up painting the inside. And honestly, it was probably a good thing I did. It still had a thrift store odor, and since I couldn't wash it, better to seal it up. I end up doing a final coat of a deeper brown off camera. I tried to go super thin with paint on the hardware. It was inevitable I'd hit it though, so I just didn't stress. I'm planning to apply a decorative treatment a bit later anyway, so stay tuned. Once the paint had plenty of time to dry, I grabbed my favorite Modern Masters Platinum Series Tintable Glaze and got mixing. I'd usually go for universal tints because paint will shorten the open or working time of a glaze, but this piece is small. I didn't think it would be an issue. I tested the glaze on the bottom because I didn't care if it got messed up later. The color started out too faint, so I added a little more brown. Remember I said this base color would pull red? This brown paint I'm tinting with also has a red base, so it helped to accentuate that color. To counteract the red, I'm adding a drop of black. I could tell right away that would give a tinge of purple, helping to offset but not eliminate the red. With the right color in hand, I got busy brushing on the first coat. Now, I don't go too perfect here. If I see a natural graining starting to form, I'll pull it in different directions to get the look I like from that swipe. It's been a while since I've tried a wood grain, and this trunk seemed like the perfect canvas to get some practice. Satisfied with the first coat, I left it to dry overnight. Even though I say I left it overnight, the truth is I didn't start this glazing until almost 5 p.m. and I was back at it by about 8 the next morning, so it didn't have quite enough time to dry on some thicker areas. But this was a thrift piece and I was impatient, so I pulled out my trusty hairdryer. I gave it about 7 or 8 minutes per side on the warm setting, and that did the trick for my purposes here. Then, with the first coat dry, I could add my overglazing. I used the original glaze color as my base, but added a couple more tiny drops of black to get an even deeper brown. The second coat works to deepen the graining of the first coat, but it deposits a new tone for more depth and a natural graining effect like wood has. I even tried my hand at a couple of knots. Not bad. I knew this coat would need a full day to dry before I started with the hardware, so I finished early in the day and left it under my lights. I went with black craft acrylic to lay down a contrasting base on all of the corner braces and side straps, as well as the rounded faux nail heads. I actually considered leaving the original green finish because it made the metal areas look patinaed, but I decided against it because, like I said before, I wanted to coat the whole piece. So I took my time with a detail brush and got a good solid coat of black laid down. Then I left everything to dry. Now for the hardware, I'm just not sure what I want to do. I got these two colors from Folk Art. Either a solid bronze, which is this one here. It's got kind of a coppery tinge to it, and then antique copper, which is a much deeper copper. I don't actually know if either of these are gonna work, and I'm kind of wishing I got gold. Or maybe I just leave it black. They're kind of cool. And it looks really good with this wood color. I'm gonna dot on a little bit of this solid bronze and just see how it looks just on these on the back here, because I can always just cover this up. Yeah, it's just too shiny, and this is definitely a weathered, distressed finish. Well, a weathered finish at least, so I got this paint for this project. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what I could use bronze on instead, so I can use these in the future. I touched up the black and called this thrift transformation of my small trunk complete. Remember what this thing looked like before? Yeah, I'm super stoked with how this turned out, and I'm feeling more confident about doing faux finish wood grain every time I try it. Once the glaze fully cures in a week or so, I'll add a top coat. I'm not sure what I'll use this small trunk for. Leave me suggestions down in the comments. Be sure to follow me on Instagram for final shots. And if you like today's DIY, don't forget to give a thumbs up. Subscribe for more thrift flips and DIYs every Friday and some Sundays. That's it for today. Thanks so much for watching. Later, peeps! The acrylic and Peter Brady. Take 2 on that. I like it, but I don't like it. I think if it was like an antique gold, I'd go with it. It's not though. And for a $5 piece from the thrift store, I've already spent an inordinate amount of time trying to do this, so I'm done. I touched up the black and called this thrift transfer. Take 2 on that.